Good afternoon, colleagues. Today I have got an ethical dilemma that I would like to discuss with you. A teacher struggle with bullying in an educational setting. This was relayed to me by one of my colleagues working in a secondary school in Fiji. Let's straight away go to the introduction part. In a high school setting in Fiji, one teacher, Miss Thompson, notices that one of her students, Sarah, has been consistently making derogatory remarks about another student, James, both in class and online. Sarah is a popular student with many friends, and James is more introverted and often feeling alone. Miss Thompson, as a teacher, faces a dilemma of how to address the bullying behavior while maintaining a fair, just, supportive environment for all the students. The issue that she is facing at the moment, the main ethical dilemma, centers around whether Ms. Thompson should intervene directly or address the bullying behavior immediately, or allow the students to resolve the situation on their own to foster independence. Should she take a more authoritative step or approach, risking potential backlash from students and parents, or adopt a softer approach that may not fully address the severity of the bullying? Now let's look at the purpose and objective of the presentation. Now there are three main objectives of the presentation. The goal of the presentation is to, one, explore the ethical dilemma from various ethical perspectives. Two, evaluate the possible outcomes of different actions. And three, provide recommendation of how educators can manage bullying in a fair and effective manner. Moving further, let's look at the detailed description of what had happened. Sarah has been bullying James in a subtle way. In subtle ways, making fun of his appearance in front of others, mocking his academic efforts, and excluding him from group activities. This has been ongoing for several months now. And James seems to be withdrawing more each day. Miss Thompson becomes aware of the situation, and it becomes a worry for her when another students report the matter to her. But there has been no formal complaint from James. Let's look at some of the ethical principles that may apply while resolving this issue. Under utilitarianism perspective, Ms. Thompson would need to consider the greatest good for the greatest number of people. Addressing the bullying immediately may create discomfort for Sarah and her friends, but it would ensure that James' well-being and emotional safety are prioritized, promoting a positive environment for the majority of the class. Next principle that we apply here is deontology. A deontological approach would emphasize Ms. Thompson's duty to protect all students from harm regardless of their popularity. She has an ethical responsibility to address this issue of bullying, even if it means enforcing rules and regulations, and might not be popular as well, received by everyone. The emphasis here is on duty, rights, and fairness. Principle related to virtues. Virtue ethics. From this perspective, Ms. Thompson would focus on her role as a teacher or mentor. This situation presents an opportunity to model values like compassion, fairness, and courage. She should act in a way that aligns with her virtuous character, ensuring that she teaches students about empathy and respect for others. Next, about social contract theory. The social contract theory would suggest that there is an implicit agreement between Ms. Thompson and her students that she will create a safe and supportive learning environment. By not addressing the bullying, she would be failing in her role as an educator and not upholding her end of the social contract. Now we look at the options and decisions that she can make. Option 1, Ms. Thompson directly confront Sarah, explain the impact of her action and enforce appropriate consequences. 2, she can gather both Sarah and James to discuss the issue in front of the class and engage in peer resolution. 3, Ms. Thompson allows students to sort out the issue on their own with minimal intervention, assuming that they will grow with the experience. Let's see what decision she makes. Finally, Ms. Thompson decides to intervene directly by speaking to Sarah about the bullying behavior and offering support to James. She also arranges a class discussion on respect and kindness. Looking at the outcome and consequence, after the intervention, Sarah is upset initially, but eventually apologizes to James as she understands what she has done. The class responds positively to the lesson on empathy, and the situation improves over time. James feels more supported, and the overall atmosphere in the class becomes more inclusive. Some of the lessons learned, Ms. Thompson learned that taking immediate action in case of bullying is very essential, even if it's uncomfortable. She realized that waiting for students to resolve the issue on their own could lead to further harm, and her role as an educator is to create a safe environment for all the students. Some of the recommendations that we got from the situation here. 1, teachers should be proactive in addressing bullying and other unethical behavior. 2, educational institutions should provide clear policies on bullying prevention and create a culture of inclusivity and respect. 3, educators should model positive behavior and create opportunities for students to engage in discussions about ethics and respect. These are some of the recommendations that we have got for you. Now next, looking at the reference, these were the reference list from where I had done my research on, and finally, to view this PowerPoint presentation on YouTube, you can go to the link that will be attached here, and that's all for my presentation. I hope you have obtained some knowledge from this presentation. Thank you.